It's a quest. It's a quest for fun.
Well, The Rock says, why don't we just cut right to the chase?
Okay, now he wants to get together. Well, he wants to talk.
I want you to do me a favor. I want you to tell all your friends about me.
It's showtime, folks!
What are you?
Greetings and salutations. Welcome to And I Quote, the weekly show where we introduce you to content creators of all shapes and sizes. Join us from any and all corners of the nerd universe. My name is Ryan of Nerd Culture, and our guest this week is someone who came to our rescue in the 11th hour. She is a crafter, cosplayer, one half of, might I say, the dynamic duo. No, that's not a reference to a certain property. It's a reference to these two awesome, tacular people. She is one half of Phoenix Sisters Cosplay. Please welcome Crayle Vanest. Crayle, welcome to the program. How are you?
Hi, I'm doing all right. Better now that I've seen your beautiful face.
Gee, thanks. I try to make it as handsome as possible for you watching this at home and for our guest who may or may not be in the studio right now. Yeah, she's right there. So if you have any questions for Crayle as we go throughout the course of the program, let us know in the live chat. Let us know in the comments. Our producers are going to be keeping an eye on that as we go throughout the course of the show. But in the meantime, first things first, Crayle, let's take a trip back in the Wayback Machine. What would you say are some of your favorite movies or TV series growing up?
My favorite TV series that is like my comfort series that I watch over and over and over again is Gilmore Girls. One of the few memes I've ever made in my life, because normally I'm just sharing other people's stuff. I'm not that like clever, it was like them. Liking coffee isn't a personality. And I was like, all evidence to the contrary. And it was just a promo banner of Lorelai and Rory from Gilmore Girls.
Goodness gracious. It's funny because my introduction to Lauren Graham as an actress was not in Gilmore Girls necessarily, but was in Parenthood.
Right. Yeah, she did do that afterwards.
6 great seasons, I might say. And if you haven't seen Parenthood or Gilmore Girls, treat yourself. They're both good series in their respective rights.
Right. And movies wise, there's like too many to count, but one of my all-time favorites is The Postman. Have you never seen The Postman?
Is this the one with Costner?
Yes, he directed it.
Are you serious?
It's like 3 hours long. Yeah.
Really? The Postman? Because I've only seen a clip of that where he walks through a village and gives people something, and then some woman walks up to him and says, God sent a savior. And he says, no, I'm just the postman. I'm thinking, what is that? That is so cheesy. There's
a reference to it in Gilmore Girls where Lorelai goes on this short little rant where she's like, want to watch The Postman? She's like the rousing speech at the end, Tom Petty showing up, playing himself. It'll make you laugh, make you cry, make you want to mail something.
I was not aware of that. Okay, so maybe I should add The Postman to my ever-growing list of films I need to see before I kick some buckets.
It is super long. You have to have like a dedicated 3 hours.
That's true. I do like Kevin Costner though.
Oh, I love Kevin Costner. I like Waterworld too, and a lot of people hate that one. They're like, "Oh, it's
that's a Razzie Award-winning film." But then again, it's got its moments. I've seen a few moments in that film. Plus, you got a good cast with Costner, a very young Gian Triplehorn at the time, and you got the late great Dennis Hopper, I might add. So, by the way, R.I.P. Dennis Hopper. Goodness gracious, another loss. But hey, so wow, The Postman, Waterworld. I'm sensing a theme here. Kevin, last name Costner. Anything else you want to raffle off that begins with Kevin and ends with Costner?
I like a lot of Kevin Costner stuff. I like the show Yellowstone. He's in that. Like,
that's a big deal these days.
Game of Thrones with cowboys.
I never would have thought of it that way. But hey, at least not everyone dies at the end like they did on Game of Thrones.
I mean, I haven't watched the newest season yet, so for all I know, everyone does die at the end. They just
maybe
end it that way.
I can't say. Me personally, I haven't seen one single iota of Yellowstone, but I've heard great things about it. I have family and friends who watch it, so I should probably add that once again to my ever-growing list of things I need to watch.
Yeah, my husband and I have like a shared note app, and we've got just like a shared note of stuff we're eventually going to watch.
It's probably 100 miles long. My goodness gracious. Any other TV series you want to raffle off? Or movies, I should say. Sorry, we've already talked enough about TV. Goodness gracious. Any more movies you want to raffle off?
The original Pokemon movie. Shocker. I know. Nobody knows that I like Pokemon. Don't tell anyone.
You got to catch them all.
Right? Gotta catch them all. I want
That's
to
the
be
only thing I know
best.
about Pokemon. You got to catch them all. Pikachu! That's all I know. Sorry.
Well, if you ever want to learn, just hop into my message box and be like, Crayle, tell me everything about Pokemon. And I'll be like, this is going to take days.
Yeah. Is there a class called Pokemon 101? Yeah, it's taught by Crayle Vanest. Look her up on Facebook. Maybe so. Maybe I'm wrong. I'm not sure. But anyhow, some people are already in here chiming in on the chat. My goodness gracious, you are all wonderful. Willow Schuyler says good afternoon to you one and all. Thank you, Willow. Good to see you too. Kelly Getner, I don't know who that is. She says, 2 of my favorite people, smiley face emoji. Aw. She's so nice. Our good friend Julie from Clubhouse. She says, hey, Ryan, what's going on? Willow says Yellowstone is such a great series. Wow. Okay. Well, should probably add it to my list then. Goodness gracious. Let's see. Julie says, Crayle, you seem like a multi-talented, multi-versed, hint, hint. We may be talking about something later. I see what you're
doing there, Julie.
Young lady, share some of your loves. Looking forward to getting to know you a little bit better as the show rolls on. Well, there you go. That's what we're here for.
It's nice to meet you, Julie. Thank you.
She is a wonderful person. She actually lives in the state of Florida. So what's up, Julie, in Florida? Anywho, next thing on the board here for you, Crayle, favorite... Let's see. Oh, wait, I'm sorry. I almost skipped over another one. What were some of your favorite comic books growing up, if not now?
Well, I actually didn't start growing up, really. Growing up the closest. I mean, I didn't start reading comics until I was 21 or 22 or something like that. But some of my favorite comics, I love Teen Titans. I've got like this.
Oh, is that who it is up there?
Teen Titans wall going on behind me. Yeah.
Oh, there it is.
So.
Wow, look at all that artwork. Isn't that amazing? Look at all this artwork featuring different characters. Great display.
One of my favorites, Hellboy. If you liked either of the versions of the movies, like Mike Mignola, and like the art style is really distinctive. It's like oh gosh, there are like so many things I could compare it to, but none of them feel quite fair. I love Mike Mignola, Hellboy, BPRD, Abe Sapien. His whole like Bureau of Paranormal Research and Defense universe is it's really great. Oh gosh, comics. It's so difficult to pick favorite comics. I really like Elektra. But I hadn't read any of the Daredevil comics. So this summer I finally bought some Daredevil stuff because literally what I would do is I would read Elektra trade paperbacks. And then when I needed stuff to fill me in from Daredevil, I would just go to like Wikipedia and Google like the storyline or wiki the storyline to get filled in from Daredevil because there's so much to catch up on. There's so much stuff. And then one of my like great loves of all time, obviously in the comic book world, is X-Men.
There you go.
Phoenix Sisters. It's all about Jean Grey and her Dark Phoenix journey. That's one of the things we are super into. The X-Men cartoons when I was a kid are one of the things that made me think I would really like comic books if like I knew where to start or how to get into them. So,
or if they all sounded the same. You know, if they all sounded like that, the world would be a much better place.
Right. That's one of those GIFs that you see sometimes and you're like, I can hear this GIF even though it has no sound, where it's just like any single part of the theme animation from X-Men. Just da-na-na-na-na-na. Yeah.
That's very true. Very true. So that kind of leans into the next question. Favorite comic writers or artists that stand out to you?
Well, I already mentioned Mike Mignola. I really like.
By the way, Brian Robin would be very impressed because he's a diehard Hellboy fan.
You know, I wonder if he's in any of my like BPRD fan groups on Facebook.
You might want to get in touch with Brian Robin, which, by the way, you can find him online at brianrobin.com. He's got a great bunch of comic series right now, such as Memoirs of an Angel, The Nebulizer. He's got a few other projects coming down the line. So if you want to follow him, do yourself a favor. Go to brianrobin.com and check him out. # always support your friends. So, diehard Hellboy fan. Okay, any other writers or artists that stick out to you besides the Mike Mignola Appreciation Club?
I like Greg Rucka. Kelly got me started on reading Greg Rucka. And
speaking of Kelly, she says, I love the Wonder Woman Greg Rucka run.
I hadn't even seen that yet, that you commented that, Kelly.
Yep.
Hi, Kelly.
She did mention that.
And then Jeff Johns. I really love Jeff Johns. I once cracked up my friends who got me started reading comics. they loaned me the New 52 run of the Aquaman trades. And I just walked in their door one time completely uninvited and announced to the room that I had a huge boner for Jeff Johns.
Boy, that could have been taken out of context a bit. But anyhow.
It was out of context. They were just like, Crayle, nice to see you. What?
Yeah. Is this language appropriate for other audiences out there? No, I'm kidding. Anyway, listen, hey, if you're watching this, by the way, we are talking once again with Crayle Vanest, one half of Phoenix Sisters Cosplay. If you make sure you're liking this video and don't forget to share with all 300 of your closest friends. They're going to like the way they look after watching this video. I guarantee it. So favorite writers or artists. Gee whiz. Any other names you want to throw out?
Alex Ross. As far as artists go, I know you're a big Alex Ross fan, like from watching the show, talking to you. But the Justice Society of America covers he has done, where like it's a highlight of just one or two characters. Like I'm trying really hard to collect them all. I have most of them. I can't remember what I'm missing right now because my comic books are packed up. Our basement flooded recently, and I had to pack a bunch of stuff up. But I'm so close to having all of his individual Society of America.
Okay. Well, I'm sorry to hear that your basement got flooded. Do you have comic book insurance? I guess not.
We have homeowners insurance. It didn't get any of my comic books wet. I had them all up off the ground. It's just that we had to pack so much stuff. And now if I can't see my stuff, I don't remember what I have. Like I am super visual. If I can't see it, it doesn't exist.
No, that's fair. That's fair. It's fair. Goodness gracious. Well, good picks and everything. But the next thing we got to ask you is, what was your first Comic-Con?
My first Comic-Con was Planet Comic-Con in Kansas City. And my friends convinced me to go because I had gotten super into the TV show Arrow. I
might know a thing or two about that show.
Right.
Considering the fact that I have a Sinceriously t-shirt that I got from Stephen Amell's website.
Sinceriously.
Yeah, it's a great word. It's a great piece of English language that should be included in all the dictionaries. But anyway, so you were playing at Comic-Con, and what happened next?
So I wanted to get a photograph, and for some reason, he couldn't make it to the first day he was supposed to be there, so he had to shove all of his autograph and photograph stuff into one day, and the lines got super long. And they closed his photograph stuff early, and I wasn't in line long enough. So I ran over to the autograph line and stood in line there forever, and then had to get back into the photograph line. And I had thought that they were both $50, but it turned out the photo was actually $55, and all I had was $54. And I was standing in the line about to cry when somebody and they were closing the thing. They were like, last call, like we have to close it after this number of people. And finally, someone else in the line went, "You're only $1 short. Like, here's $1. And by the way, I've gotten a picture with Stephen Amell before. This would be my second one. If they can't get you in before the system closes," total stranger who just heard me like about to cry to my friend who was in line with me. They can't get you in before the system closes, you can have my ticket. And I just like turned from sad tears to like happy tears. That was like so kind of them. And like for first convention experiences, talk about like, how everybody's like family and how conventions can be a super positive place. Like,
wow. Talk about paying it forward. So you ended up getting a picture with Stephen Amell?
I did get a picture with Stephen Amell. He held my stuffed unicorn who wore a little orange cape that my friend Ruby made. His name was Albert.
God. Oh, that must have been a riot.
Oh, it was fun. It was super fast, so we didn't get to talk, which is a shame because he has a reputation as one of those celebrities that the handlers are like, keep it moving. He's like, no, let me talk about your shirt or your costume.
Yeah, but he likes to interact with his fans respectively. I actually got a picture with him some years ago.
I guess. Oh, no, she walks away as soon as I move the camera. Of course, my
Silly
dog just tried
fur
to come
baby
into the
alert.
frame.
Anyway, it's okay. We'll talk to them later. So I got a picture with Stephen Amell some years ago. This was before the world got on fire, and which still is, unfortunately. But got a picture with him. It was real quick though, and I was wearing my Sinceriously shirt. So he saw it and he was like, "Oh, that's cool, man." And then he just got the picture, and then we had to rush out because they were turning these things out one after the other. So I didn't even get a chance to talk to Steven, which kind of bummed me out. I'm like, dang.
Aww.
got a picture with you in your Sinceriously shirt, and we smiled, and we look good together. We're like bros. But it's like, Steven, I get a chance to talk, man. I'm bummed. Hopefully one of these days when Earth reopens and Corona Miley Cyrus gets the frack out of Dodge, then I can talk to Steven and we can have a nice, open-hearted conversation. I think that would be lovely. Anyway, wow, what a first Comic-Con. You met Stephen Amell. Any other names did you meet while you were there?
That was the only one. I was in college. I was super broke. So that was the only photo
Broke
op
college
or anything
kids. I should know a thing or two about that.
Aren't you still a broke college kid?
No, I just graduated. Thanks for asking.
Congratulations. I'm
thank
happy
you.
for you.
Now I need to learn how to adult and get a real thing and get a real job and start making money or something. I don't know.
I mean, or everybody could just contribute and you could podcast for your job.
That's true. That would be lovely, but I don't know if that's necessarily in the cards. But I am in the process of looking for jobs, so wish me luck. Going on a few interviews. We shall see how it goes. But this isn't about me. It's about you, silly. Anyway, great experience with the Comic-Cons and all that jazz. Let me ask you this. Who do you hope to meet at conventions in the future that you haven't had a chance to meet yet?
Oh my gosh.
It's probably a long
list. So many
list.
people I would love to meet. So many people I would love to meet. It's hard to pick one right off the top of my head. Sophie Turner would be cool. I would like to ask her if she knew anything about the Phoenix or X-Men or anything before she was Jean Grey.
Yep.
And I did like Game of Thrones too, but I'd probably, if I met her at a convention, have, X-Men on the brain more than that.
Yeah, please. Game of Thrones, everybody dies. In X-Men, at least you get one character dies and everyone else survives, so we're fine with that.
Right. Okay, let's see.
Normally.
I'd love to meet Sophie Turner. Jason Momoa seems like he's really fun and likes to interact with his fans.
Aquaman.
I would love to meet Norman Reedus sometime that I have a little more time to talk to him. I did a photo op with him once, and it was one of those times that the lines was really long. They were not the celebrities. The celebrities were trying to take time with fans, but you have the handlers who are just get out of the photo booth. I actually got an extra second with him because it was him and the other two main guys from Boondock Saints. And my friend and I, who were doing the photo op, got earrings that were little photo frames of Patrick Flannery and Norman Reedus's faces just close up. And I was like, "Hi, Norman Reedus, I'm wearing your face." And so we posed for the photo. I'm trying to get my arm around the guy who plays Rocco, whose name I can't remember right now. I'm bad at remembering names. And they took the photo so fast that instead of getting my arm around him, it looks like I'm trying to elbow him out of the photo, which at least it's funny, right? And then he stops. He puts his hand on my shoulder, lightly, really respectfully. He wasn't being touchy at all. Puts his hand on my shoulder. He's like, "Wait, let me see your earrings." And then she goes, "Ha!" And then literally the handler started to usher me with her hands out of the photo booth. But I would love to meet him sometime, but I can actually talk to him.
No, that's completely fair. Completely fair. The man's done a couple of different projects in his career, so one's to be celebrated for sure. Julie says, "Oh my goodness, you love Hellboy. That's great." Kelly Gettner says, "Out of context quotes is something that we bonded over." That's what Kelly says.
That's true. Talking about butt Tetris.
Good Lord, that's a thing?
It was after Kelly and I met.
Gee whiz. Well, speaking of, referring back to something we spoke about a bit earlier with regards to movies, TV series, or even comic books, Julie says, "I used to like He-Man and the G.I. Joe cartoons back in my day, and I also love the Richie Rich comics and so on and so forth." Goodness gracious, there were Richie Rich comics? Yes, that was a real thing, and it still is. Oh, not to mention the superpowers, she says. Wow.
Superpowers.
Yeah, superpowers. Let's see here. Julie asks, "Are you also into horror films by any chance?" And I'm certain you're probably seen some Marvel comic films, aka MCU and non-MCU films. Have you ever met any of the stars of the MCU or non-MCU?
No, I think it's hard to rank people by star power, but I think the biggest star that I would have met is still not Marvel, it's DC, and that was John Barrowman. I was in a photo of him and my friend Wes. He wore his TARDIS dress.
People in TARDIS.
Oh, horror movies. So I'm super picky about which horror movies I watch because I have a super visual, active imagination, and I'm still seeing stuff days and days later. So I have to have Yeah, I have to have friends or something watch it and like give me a better gist of what the story's gonna be, so that I can be like, all right, is this worth like ruminating on for days? But I still like them. It's just that I have to take them in small doses. I liked Crimson Peak. That was a Guillermo del Toro. I like Guillermo del Toro. I feel like he and Mike
GDT.
Mignola had the same aesthetic, and then when they worked together on the Hellboy revamp, it was really cool visually, at the very least, even though people have mixed feelings about the rebooted Hellboy film.
Yeah, the David Harbour, it happened, but it wasn't that good.
Yeah.
So, it ended up, I think it ended up being nominated for several Razzies, if not winning a few of them, because of how bad it was. I'm sorry, but I saw it and I just thought it was
it kind of seemed like they tried to tell a story that should have been at least 3 movies all in one movie, and stuff just, it didn't get developed as much as I would have liked. And then as far as like your like haunted house type of movies, my favorite ever one is called Haunter, and I'm worried that if I talk about it, I will give away any part of any twist to it. So just, if you're into like haunted house type of horror movies and you haven't seen Haunter, watch it. It's not the Pokemon Haunter. That's actually what originally made me pick it out of Netflix to read the thing. I was like, Haunter is the name of a Pokemon. I'm sure that's not what this movie's about, but I'm going to give it a chance now.
My goodness gracious, the creepy things we hear on this program. By the way, Brian Wensloff says, hello, everyone. Brian Wensloff is one of the co-hosts of Reels and Heels, which you can find on HWWS Web TV on Saturdays, I believe. Saturdays at 2:15 p.m. EST, which, by the way, Brian, welcome back, buddy. You've been gone for like months and months and months, and now you're finally getting back on that horse, boy. Get back in that studio, do that work. Congrats, Reels and Heels. Check them out. They're good people. By the way, Julie has another question for you, Crayle. Julie is so good at these questions. She says, how many Comic-Cons have you attended, and which one was your all-time favorite?
Are we talking like I've been to the Superman celebration 5 or 6 times, and that counts, or are we just talking?
She's talking about Comic-Con. I think she mentions Comic-Cons in general. Like, how many of you attended over the course of your long and illustrious career, and which one was your favorite?
I feel like I've been to 20 or 25, which I think is a lot, considering I didn't start until I was in my 20s. I wasn't like a teenager or anything when I started.
It's all right.
And the one that, it's hard to pick a favorite because something special has happened at like every convention I've ever been to. But the one I've gone to the most and made my closest friends at is the Superman celebration in Metropolis, Illinois, that they have every year. That's where I met Kelly. She's my Phoenix sister. It's free to attend. It's like a street festival. So I got to do more things because I wasn't like already in the hole on a ticket cost, because I started when I was a super broke college kid. Yeah, that one stands out the most. I've been to it the most times and made the most friends at the Superman celebration.
And believe me when I say that is on my bucket list, considering the fact I'm a giant Superman fan. I've never been to Superman celebration. It's blasphemy, but I got to fix that at some point. When Earth reopens and Corona Miley Cyrus gets the freck out of Dodge, then we can start going back to Comic-Cons full-time and not just so-and-so part-time, because I've only been to one con since the world kind of ended, and it was fun. Don't get me wrong. It was great to get back in the mix of things. But at the same time, I want to go to more, but I need to feel safe, and we're not quite safe yet. Hopefully, we'll feel that way in a couple months, hopefully. Anyway, Julie says, Aquaman is pretty hot himself. I mean, look at those muscles. Oh, my God. Wonder Woman and Justice Leagues, those were my childhood favorites, as well as comic books. And she says, comic book insurance? Laugh out loud. Get out of here. Hey, listen, if it's a real thing, please sign up for it. I don't know.
I think you can include them. I mean, you'd have to have like a third party evaluate the value probably, but I think you can include them on your homeowner's insurance if you get like the fire and water damage add-ons to your policy.
I don't know. I have to look that up on the interwebs. Brian says horror movies are great, especially when you're sitting with a large crowd. Yeah, maybe so. Maybe so. See here, just going through these. Let's see. Brian Wenslow says that Hellfest is a good convention to check out if you're a fan of horror films.
Is that one in Florida? I've heard of it.
You know,
before.
Brian, he lives in Florida. So everything that comes out of Brian's mouth is an expression of how much he loves his state of Florida, which, by the way, Julie, you live in Florida too. Maybe you and Brian should meet up and go to Comic-Cons together. I don't know. I'm just saying. anything. Anyway, Julie says, I think a friend of mine actually had an affair with Sophie Turner.
Sounds like a lucky friend.
That's going into the, X-Files there, isn't it, Julie? I'm just saying. Brian Wensloff says, I've lost count of how many conventions I've been to, but the WrestleMania of Comic-Cons known as San Diego Comic-Con is his absolute favorite.
I go back and forth on whether or not San Diego Comic-Con is on my bucket list or not. Because on the one hand, like, there are so many exclusives, and I'm a little bit of a collector, and it's like one of those birthplace of American Comic-Con places. But on the other hand, it's such a huge crowd and like long lines and
mosh pits.
Right. Yeah. So that sounds like something I would need to like rest for 3 days before and 3 days after if I was going to go do.
Yeah, probably so. Once again, we're talking with one half of the Phoenix Sisters Cosplay, a dynamic duo known as Crayle Vanest. Make sure you're sharing this video with all 700 of your closest friends. They're going to like the way they look after watching this video. I guarantee it. Julie says, Crayle, you're absolutely hilarious saying to someone that you are wearing their face, when you walked up to them.
I was.
It takes guts to admit that to somebody. Gee
okay,
whiz.
and like it's a good thing I remember to point at the earrings, or else it might have sounded like I tried to sew together some kind of like skin mask of Norman Reedus or something. Like
that would have been something out of a weird horror film.
Yeah,
exactly. And Brian Wensloff goes on to say, growing up in a place called San Diego, we may know a place called that. I had already went 11 plus times before the year 2000 to San Diego Comic-Con is what he's referring to.
I got a tattoo on my foot in San Diego. I went to visit an ex-boyfriend of mine in Oceanside and got my first tattoo in San Diego.
Really?
Yeah.
That's fascinating. What was the tattoo of? Was it a specific symbol or a specific wording?
A line drawing of a lotus, and it has growth on it in the in like runic letters. So it's in English. I'm not like a language specialist for ancient languages. I just use that alphabet in English because I was worried if I put growth on it in English on my foot, it might remind people of like corns or bunions or other that type of growth on your foot.
No.
And so now people have to ask me what it says.
Boy, that's an interesting way to start a conversation, is it not? But anyway, I digress. And by the way, if you have any questions for Crayle as we go throughout the course of the program, let us know in the chat. Let us know in the comments rather, because you guys are doing a great job. And for those of you who are watching us, thank you so much for being here. We cannot do this without you. So, Crayle, that actually leads into my next question. What was the first pop culture collectible that you ever bought?
The first pop culture collectible that I ever bought.
Yes. Could be anything. It could be a poster, it could be a comic, it could be a stamp, it could be a Funko Pop, because Funko Pops are kind of a big deal nowadays. Could be a t-shirt, could be a costume, it could be anything.
It was a Pokemon t-shirt.
Wow, really? The one you're wearing?
No. The first one I ever bought. I started working when I was like 11 years old under the table. So I think I was like 12 when I bought it. I think I bought it at Hot Topic of all places. And it is way too small for me now. It's in a tote full of t-shirts that I eventually want to have somebody turn into a quilt for me.
Oh, well, that's interesting. That actually leads into our next question. What is your favorite type of thing to collect? What do you enjoy collecting the most?
As far as like enjoy the most, because I'd spend so long like planning exactly which one of those I'm going to get because they're expensive and I need to have like a proper space for it. The like gallery statues, I have Phoenix in 3 different of her suits, White Phoenix, Green Phoenix, and Dark Phoenix. And then 2 Emma Frost statues in the same pose. But one of them is her in her like diamond diamond phase, where like her body is see-through. There's like glitter and resin, but then her clothes and hair are still, colored.
Kind of out of whack, and she's got to comb it back or something. I don't know. Maybe used from L'Oreal Paris, like Thor does, like Thoriel. I don't know.
Yeah.
Could be one or the other.
Yeah. I don't have very many, though. Those are one of my favorite things to collect. But I also collect trade paperbacks. I like to get them all in the same, like, printing style and size and everything, so that they look nice and neat. I can see everything that goes together all at once. And then I collect prints like crazy. There are Again, my basement's kind of
Well, I mean, we've
apart,
seen how
that's
big your wall is.
just the Teen Titans right there.
And that's just the Teen Titans. That doesn't even cover the other half.
Looking at my X-Men wall, and I have 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7,
maybe 8,
9. So there are 11 prints with the Phoenix in them or completely of the Phoenix on a wall over there that I can't show you because it's covered in boxes.
Oh. You need more space for more collectibles so you don't have boxes laying around all over the floor.
We put this wall in our house ourselves. We've added another bedroom to our house.
Nice.
And we joke that we added a wall so that I had more walls to hang prints on.
Yeah, it's called wall space. We might need some. Just saying. But my goodness, man, you have 11 prints of featuring the Phoenix. Obsessed much?
A little bit.
Just a bit. Just a tad. Goodness gracious. Let's see here. My goodness. Julie says, what exactly is Superman Celebration? Let's go. Well, Superman Celebration's in Metropolis, Illinois. Normally it's held during the mid part of the year in the summertime. Unfortunately, with Corona Miley Cyrus kicking everyone's behind, things have taken a bit of a delay, but I believe they're holding it this year, are they?
I think they are. I think it's moving back to its original
June time slot?
date. Yeah. It was
okay. Well,
near
there
the
is a
end of July
website.
this year. It was like the hottest weekend of the year to go be right on the Ohio the Ohio River.
Yeah.
Like, so
great time to
humidity.
cosplay, right? With multi-layers you cosplayers may wear. I'm just saying. But still, look it up. It's Superman Celebration online. You can always feel free to Google it, see what the plan is. I'm not sure. But if they're moving ahead with it this year, hey, congrats. It's awesome. Let's see. Do you like Sophie Turner's other half, known as Joe Jonas?
I actually saw the Jonas Brothers in concert once. I went with a friend. I'm not like a huge like Jonas Brothers fan, but I like enough of their music that when my friend was like, hey, so the person I was going to go with can't go anymore. Do you want to go? I was like, I think I would really enjoy that.
There you go. Always helps. By the way, Julie says Superman, the celebration itself, that's free? Wow, that sounds like fun. Yes, Julie, it does sound like fun. I want to go. Shut up and take my non-existent money that I can't afford to own. Even so, Julie says, I've been to, Indianapolis a number of times because that's where my brother's wife is, I think, living. I don't know if your brother's wife is wrong. I don't know what that means. But anyway, we'll let that one slide. Let's see here. Brian has a great question. He says, what's the most expensive piece of artwork that you own, Crayle?
The most expensive piece of artwork that I own is a Greg Horn print.
Good Lord.
That was a limited printing, and it's a bunch of the women of X-Men. And so many of their costumes are on the skimpy side, and Greg Horn tends to like play up what's already skimpy. And so it reached a point at one point where I had a lot of like the ladies of X-Men together to where my husband, back before we were married, was like, I really don't want these in the living room because people are going to assume that these are my scantily clad lady prints. And I'm like, they're comic book characters. Everybody knows this is me, but okay. So we put them in our bedroom. And then once you put the wall all together, it was like, it looks weirder in the bedroom. It looks worse in the bedroom. Also, like they were spread out with other stuff the other way, but when you put everything in one spot where everything's scantily clad, it looks like you did it on purpose.
I mean, hey, whatever happens, and whatever works, right?
Yeah.
So we've mentioned it a few times, but I want to go into a bit more specifics about this. Now, you are one half of the team known as Phoenix Sisters Cosplay. You have a few characters that you have cosplayed over the course of time, certain characters that you enjoy cosplaying, showing out there. We have some images here. I want to bring these up here. So this is you. I believe this is Supergirl, and you're also holding a book. Can you describe what book you're holding and who you're dressed as?
That is Supergirl being super. I can't read the authors' names from here. And I dressed up as Supergirl to review it in this instance for a show called the Back Issue Breakfast Club. I'm part of a podcast network called Back of the Cereal Box, and they do reviews of new and old comic books. It's a great resource if you're trying to choose what to read. This one is that particular book is about Supergirl before she's Supergirl. It's an origin story that has a meta narrative about where do stories begin and what is an origin story. I highly recommend it.
Ooh, there you go. There you go. I'm digging it. So another character. I'm not sure who this character is. Maybe you can fill me in on this one. And while you're going, and before you go into this, Phoenix Sisters Cosplay. How long have you specifically been cosplaying, and who exactly is this character that you are dressed up as in this one?
I have been cosplaying since 2014. I went to my first convention in 2013 and did a few casual cosplays, like closet cosplays, but I didn't have my first costume built until almost a year later. This costume is Mara Jade in the she premieres in the Thrawn trilogy if you read any of the Star Wars books. She's been like a bounty hunter. She's like been a Sith and then not quite a Sith. I'm trying to like not spoil stuff, but the story's been out for a really long time. I'm not sure what's fair game for spoilers or not, but she's awesome. She's one of those people who like, she's got a blaster in this hand and a lightsaber in that one. Can't see my other hand there, you know? Yeah, so this was a fan request. One of our Patreon patrons was like, I would really love it if you would do a Mara Jade. And I was like, I would really love it if you kept giving us money every month. So I will do a Mara Jade. I'm close friends with him too. It's not all just about the money. Like I was happy to, like, you know, he's not as big into cosplay. So I was happy to make one of his dream cosplay things become a reality with somebody that he knows.
Oh, isn't that special? No, that's a great thing. And how long have you and Kelly been working together? Because you guys, sometimes you do group cosplays, such as this one, where I believe one of you is dressed as the Phoenix and the other one is dressed as Emma Frost, if I'm saying that right.
Yes, that is the Phoenix and Emma Frost. We have been cosplaying together since 2014, but we've been Phoenix Sisters Cosplay I think we just passed our 4-year anniversary in October as Phoenix Sisters Cosplay with like a brand and a name and everything. This costume, I completely surprised her. I didn't tell her I was doing it. I was just like, I know we're both going to be at the Superman celebration. You need to bring your Phoenix suit and be available for a photo shoot at this time. And she probably assumed that I had just like made some revamps to my Dark Phoenix costume because we'd done Phoenix and Dark Phoenix before. And then I had our photographer drive me up to the park that we were going to do the photo shoot at so that nobody could see me ahead of time. And then I stepped out of his SUV and said, "The Queen has arrived." And she just like died laughing.
Goodness gracious.
Because she's the White Queen in the Hellfire Club, for anybody who doesn't get why it's funny. The Queen has arrived.
Oh my goodness. Well, these are some great outfits, great characters, don't get me wrong. And also, let's see, Brian has a question. He says, if you've seen it, what are your thoughts on the Batgirl costume from the movie that is coming out later this year from WB and DC?
I haven't seen it yet. Mental note to Google that when we get off of here.
Well, Brian, you're going to have to wait for her answer to that question, buddy. I'm sorry. She has yet to see the photo that dropped like it's hot on the WB Pictures Instagram feed, which I did DM to your Phoenix Sisters Cosplay account.
Oh, okay, cool. Cool.
So there you go. You can find it there. Don't worry. We look out for each other around these parts of the woods. Gee willikers, don't get me started.
I doubt I will like it more than Kelly's Batgirl costume, though, that she made.
Yeah, hers is pretty tough to beat.
Oh,
I think.
I get that they're a professional Hollywood team and stuff, but I mean, maybe I'm biased, but Kelly's Batgirl costume is like...
It's balls. Hashtag like balls. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So aside from cosplaying, you also like to do something known as arts and crafts. Specifically, you like Pokemon, which, once again, this is one of the... for me personally, this may be one of the fandoms that I may not understand, but I understand that it is a big fandom, and there are a lot of people out there. Now, what exactly is this, and when did Pokeballs by Crayle start?
So Pokeballs by Crayle, I started learning how to make Pokeball dioramas 4 years ago, and I've been selling them for 2 years. I spent 2 years like researching, developing, like getting good at putting like little diorama scenes together, figuring out how to get an opaque white layer on the bottom of an acrylic spherical shell to go on solidly. Took us, my husband and I, months of trial and error. And so then this year, this is a brand new product that y'all are getting to see that hasn't like fully dropped anywhere. I started doing Pokey Mugs.
Oh my gosh.
And so they're a little bit less expensive, a little smaller, a little less conspicuous if you were decorating like an office cubicle or something. And so this is Evie making herself some s'mores in a Hershey s'mores mug.
Right. Hey, it goes together. Goes together. That is amazing. How long does it take you to put one of these things together? Does it take hours? Does it take days? Does it take weeks? What's the process like?
The Pokeball spheres take 1 to 3 days to make. And that's not counting time that I spend waiting for paint to dry. Like, so much of my job is what am I going to do on this other Pokeball? Well, the paint dries on this Pokeball, like, or this Pokemon project. The mugs have been taking me a lot less time, like 5 or 6 hours per mug. If you don't count the time that I spend like shopping or like going through my mugs and trying to figure out like, can I think of something that works for a theme? Because I'm not just going to throw any random Pokemon in any random mug. Like, I have to come up with an idea to make it work together. So if you don't count the shopping and planning, it's 5 or 6 hours for the mugs.
Wow. Man. New things. I was going to say, new year, new possibilities, and you got this new project going on. Congratulations. We wish you the best of luck with that moving forward.
Thank you. I finally made one for myself to keep.
Oh, yeah?
My husband thought it was ridiculous that I hadn't made my dream Pokeball yet. And I was like, yeah, but the supplies I want for it are kind of expensive. And, you know, I'm not selling it, so I'm not recouping anything. He was like, Crayle, you've made like 200 Pokeballs now. Keep one for yourself. So this Pokemon is known as Appleton.
Aww.
And in Pokemon Sword and Shield, to make this Pokemon that is a worm inside an apple where you can only see the apple. So I put a giant apple in there too. Evolves by finding an item that is a specific type of apple under a tree on an island that you can't access until somewhat later in the game. And in Shield, which is the version I have, you get an item that makes it evolve into a giant apple pie dragon who moves around like a really fat dog, the way he walks around. And it's the cutest thing. This is like, I never thought any Pokemon would unseat Ponyta and Rapidash, the Fire Horse and Fire Unicorn from the original 151 Pokemon, as my favorite. But I am so obsessed with this apple pie dragon dog now. I'm like, I never saw this coming. So I finally made my dream Pokeball. This is the giant size. Most of my Pokeballs are only like 5.5 inches, and this one is like 8 inches or something like that. You know, not all of them are the size of your head, but since I wanted the full island effect surrounded by water, I let myself make it giant.
My goodness.
So
it's very unique and very creative, something that I personally have never seen before, and maybe you who are watching this has never seen before. And definitely check this stuff out, and links to where you can find all this stuff are located in the description of this video, so make sure you check those out when you do have an opportunity. Now, Julie has a question for you. She asks, am I right that you work in, digital media, and how have you used your love of comics, etc., in your work, or how would you like to use it more moving forward?
I have worked in all kinds of digital media because I did digital marketing for 7 years, and you're kind of expected to do a little bit of everything, a little bit of graphic design, a little bit of web design, a little bit of knowing how video promos and stuff work, and then looking at all the numbers and data on the back end of everything to tell other content creators, make more like this, make less like that, because this is what's getting people to go to the website or buy the product or whatever. And I wasn't getting to use my love for comics in my line of work for any of the companies that I worked for or nonprofits that I worked for before. And so I'm finally getting to use my love of comics combined with like marketing and nonprofit work and digital media when I work on Phoenix Sisters Cosplay and our brand and everything that we have going, because we've got everything from like Patreon to like a Facebook brand and stuff like that, to the Multiverse Fundraiser, which is it's a free online convention that we run where we have panels and everything and raise money for a different cause every year. So I'm finally like in my freelance or in my own like time as a volunteer getting to combine digital media and my love of comics by making content that relates to like the fandom niches that I like. So it's an exciting time in my life that I'm finally getting to do that. I'm so glad you asked, Julie.
That is a great question, and thank you all for the questions. And by the way, Julie comments by saying, hot topic, are we not allowed to shop there anymore as adults? I refuse to let that stop me. No, you can go to Hot Topic.
If we're not allowed, I'm breaking the rules.
Seriously,
If Love and Hot Topic is wrong, I don't want to be right.
I've bought some swagger from Hot Topic, as I'm sure Crayle has.
Oh yeah, they had Sailor Moon shirts last year, tons of them.
Really?
A bunch of Sailor Moon shirts.
Well, Julie has another very intriguing question, so you might have to think a bit hard about this one. She says, your prints that you have behind you, as well as in your collection, are amazing. Does your hubby like the same things that you do? If not, does he at least support your passions?
He likes most of the same stuff that I do, but okay, so I like most of the stuff that he likes, but I like more nerd things than he does as far as like geekery fandom. So like if you were to turn it into a Venn diagram, the circle of stuff that he likes would be like inside the circle of stuff that I like. He is super supportive. He wasn't into cosplay before we met, but now when I'm like, hey, I really need you to be Scott Summers, he's like, I'll have fun with that. I like that. As long as we do it together. And he wants to do a Mandalorian cosplay with like this red Mandalorian armor from a Star Wars, I think, book or video game that he's read. He knows way more Star Wars stuff than I do. Like, so we've got overlapping fandoms. I'm just into more of the like geeky DC and Marvel stuff than he is. So that awesome. And so I'm able to recommend the stuff that I like that I know he's gonna like because I know him well enough now. Like I made him watch Avatar: The Last Airbender, the show, not that other thing that we don't talk about.
The M. Night Shyamalan movie?
Yeah, that, of which we do not speak, Ryan.
Sorry.
Where I was like, so memes for different fandoms have sort of like a tone and a language that is a little unique to each language, and he's super into Star Wars prequel memes. And I was like, even if you're not that into like the story Avatar is telling, the meme community speaks the same language. Like they have the same tone and humor as the Star Wars prequel memes. So you need to watch the show just so you can understand the memes. And he did end up liking the show, but yeah.
Oh, there you go. Great stuff. Thank you very much for answering that. Julie says, I've always been in love with Joe Jonas, but I didn't realize I forgot that he was with Sophie Turner. Oh my. Okay.
I had forgotten too.
Hey, the things we learn on a daily basis, the more you know. By the way, Brian says, I shop at Hot Topic lots and lots, so don't be ashamed. There you go. By the way, Julie says, girl, you are rocking that Supergirl outfit, making me think I should be that or even Wonder Woman for next Halloween.
Thank you. Oh my gosh. I get so many comments on that Supergirl costume, and like, I almost didn't do it. She's my stepmom now, and she was my dad's fiance. And I went to a Party City store was closing and liquidating all their inventory. And not being a cosplayer herself or anything, she picked up this shiny blue leotard and was like, this is majorly on sale. You should do a Supergirl costume. And I was like, I don't know if I want to commit to a whole nother build right now. Okay, this is a really cute shiny leotard. It is super on sale. Super duper. I have to be Supergirl now. And like now it's one of my most frequently worn costumes.
Gee willikers. Awesome sauce. There you go. By the way, I don't know who David McDonald is, but he chimes in by saying there is no live action movie in Ba Sing Se. What exactly does that mean? And by the way, do you know who David is? Because I don't know who that is.
That is my husband.
Oh, that's the love of your life. Hi, David. Welcome to the show. Thank you so much for being with us. Anyway, what does he mean by there is no live action movie in so-and-so?
So the capital of the Earth Nation in Avatar: The Last Airbender is surrounded by really thick walls and has like a really secluded like inner political circle where the propaganda has gotten so strong that even though the whole like series of continents have been at war for 100 years, in Ba Sing Se they think the war is over. There is no war in Ba Sing Se is like a propaganda line that gets repeated. There is no war in Ba Sing Se. And so there is no live action movie in Ba Sing Se is a play on that because we just don't like to think about it. Kind of the way the political elite of the Earth Kingdom in that show don't like to think about war.
Right on. Okay, the more stuff we learn on this show, the better off of human beings we're going to be. Because I've only watched a few episodes of Avatar: The Last Airbender, and I just it didn't vibe with me all that much, so I just kind of let it go. So, I don't know. Maybe I'll have to give it another chance.
There's so much content out there, though. You don't have to feel guilty for not finishing something, okay?
It just didn't vibe with me at the time. But Julie goes on to say, girls with lightsabers, that is freaking awesome. I feel like I'm not worthy to be in your presence. But then again...
Oh, Julie, you're making me blush.
And Julie goes on to say, and this is an intriguing question. She says, wait a minute, people are paid to cosplay? Where do we get these gigs exactly? Laugh out loud.
Well, the amount that we get from our Patreon definitely doesn't cover like the cost of the costume. It just defrays the cost a little bit. I mean, I wish we could get like paid like hourly or something like that to cosplay, but there are lots of platforms like Buy Me a Coffee or Ko-Fi or Patreon where you set up incentives for people to support your cosplay. A lot of times it's people who don't have the energy or the time or the know-how to cosplay themselves, who still want to be involved in like the content you create, the costumes that you make. And so they give you like something monthly or something one at a time every now and then. And then you incentivize them by either you send them prints, you send them thank you notes,
stickers,
give them early access, stickers, stuff like that. Yeah.
Which we have done. Because, you know, nerd culture, stickers, it kind of goes together. I'm just saying. By the way, Julie goes on to say, you and your fellow Phoenix Sisters Cosplay dynamic duo, you girls are just kicking some serious galaxy butt.
Oh, thank you.
So she's giving you as well as Kelly some much deserved praise, if I do say so myself.
Thanks.
Let's see. Brian Wensloff has a hot take. He says, I'm actually looking forward to a live-action Avatar series coming to Netflix and Paramount Plus. Is that true?
Yeah, it is. I'm looking forward to it too. There was a lot of production buzz at the beginning about the original writers are coming back. No, they're not. Yes, they are. No, they're not. I have no idea what's going on now. Or like that they were there and then they left, maybe. I don't know. I'm excited either way. I'm excited if it's a new team. I'm excited if it's the original writers. Like, give me more stuff in that universe. Just, you know, respect the source material, even a teeny smidge, and you'll make me happy.
Well, this actually brings up an intriguing question for someone who's not familiar with Avatar: The Last Airbender, but they're interested in diving into this universe. Where's a good place for them to start, whether it be with the TV series or with the graphic novels? Where should someone start?
You should definitely start with, in my opinion, you should definitely start with just at the very beginning of the animated series in the first episode. Watching as an adult, though, the first 5 or 6 episodes, it's hard to get them to hold your attention because the show is designed for kids. It has some really deep themes and good messaging and like really great writing where like this character's journey is a mirror image of that character's journey. But you have to give it a good 5 or 6 episodes before it really is going to catch your attention as an adult. So I will say that, like, story-wise, like for the continuity and building it and everything, start at the beginning. I don't recommend that for every show. Like when I got my husband into Parks and Recs, I started him in season 3 because season 1 is kind of rough. Like, but for the story that they're telling.
Right. From what I was told. And then Ron Swanson walks in after you had him start watching season 3 and he says, I'm really proud of you.
Oh, yes.
So, I mean, that's just, I mean, I've seen clips of the show here and there. I've seen full episodes here and there as well, but I haven't like full on like binge watched all of Parks and Rec, but it does have its fair share of moments. Like that's where we got the magic words, treat yourself.
Yes. Treat yourself.
So it's just, but I'm sorry. I could probably go off on a random tangent about funny things I've noticed in certain shows over the years, but we don't have that kind of time. By the way, Julie says, I love the fact that you announced that the Queen has arrived when you did a photo shoot.
I loved that. That was so much fun.
That must have been a gorgeous blast. By the way, Julie says, I love every single piece of your artwork. It is absolutely phenomenal.
Thank you. Yeah, I really wish I could show you guys everything, but one, walking the laptop around.
That's a lot.
Parts, it would be too much. And also it's a mess down here. Like I keep my podcast area clean.
Hey,
but again, like we added a whole nother room. We had water damage. We've done so much construction down here. Like my art is still hanging up on the walls for the most part, but it's just obstructed by boxes and stuff.
Goodness gracious. Once again, we're talking with Crayle Vanest, one half of Phoenix Sisters Cosplay. Make sure you're sharing this video with all 900 of your closest friends. They're going to like the way they look after watching this video. I guarantee it. So goodness gracious. So here's a thing for you here, Crayle. We got a little thing we do here every week here on the show, respectively, with And I Quote and everything else we got going on. Goodness gracious. This episode of And I Quote, and every episode, I should say, of And I Quote, is in fact brought to you by Pod Decks. Now, Pod Decks are unique interview questions as well as episode starting prompts in the palm of your own hand. So whether you are a new podcaster or you're an existing broadcaster looking to grow your audience or get more engagement, you're going to want to check out poddex.com. Make sure you use that promo code NerdCulture to get 10% off your first order. You're not going to want to miss it. I guarantee it. Crayle, first things first, was there something you asked for repeatedly as a child, but you were always told no?
I eventually got told yes. I was that girl who was always asking for a pony or a horse.
Oh my gosh.
And when I was 12, I finally got a horse. My grandpa raises cows already, so it wasn't that big of an expense. Like, I mean, horses are always expensive, but it wasn't as big of an expense. Like, it's not like somebody had to like pay to board it somewhere else so that I could have it or things like that, because the horse was already out in the same field and barn and everything that he had built for the cows. So
there you go. Would you rather have a cool boss and learn absolutely nothing, or a strict boss who you learn from?
I'm my own boss right now, so I get to be both sometimes. No, but as far as other bosses, I would rather have a strict boss that I learn a lot from.
Oh, there you go. There you go. Fair enough. Fair enough. Whom do you secretly envy?
I don't know if it's a secret, but sometimes I'm super jealous of Kelly. I look at her and her Black Widow photos, and I'm just
Man.
oh man, I really wish I could pull that off. I mean, maybe if I tried hard enough, I could, but she's like perfected some of her characters, and I look at it and I'm just like, oh, I really hope my cosplays are as good as hers, since we're a team and everything. Like,
well, in the words of a Jedi Master, no, try not, do, or do not. There is no try. You don't try, Crayle. You do it. You do or you do not, because there is no try. So if you want to dress up as Black Widow, by the way, the movie celebrates its 10-year anniversary. Congratulations to the Avengers. You should dress up as Black Widow for the 10th anniversary. There you go. There's something to hang your hat on and something to look forward to in the month of May 2022. You might want to write this down. I'm trying to help you here, Crayle. Anyhow, do you put up what is known as a boundary in any area of your life to keep people out?
Why? This is the second time that my like poor boundary skills have come up on one of your shows, Ryan. Oh man, because when we talked in November, I was talking about how I wanted to celebrate something called November, where you say no to stuff, and you're like, "What have you said no to so far?" And I was like,
"Not much."
Nothing.
Not much. Maybe nothing. I'm not sure.
No. I mean, there are some things where like creepy internet dudes will try to engage me on something and I'm like, no, blocked. Like, that's a boundary, I guess. In my personal life with my friends and stuff, though, I am a very open person. Like, I get close to people really quickly and like give a lot of myself and don't do a lot of boundaries maybe like I should. Like, I'll take phone calls from my friends in the middle of the night when it's like, no, like some people are like important boundaries, getting the rest that you need, stuff like that. So it's going deep.
Hey, that's what we do here. You never know. You know, our in some way, shape, or form, and I quote, is like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get. So how about this one? What do you keep on your desk or your workspace area that boosts your mood?
I have on my big desk for like computer work and digital work and stuff like that. I have a Rory Gilmore pop figure from Gilmore Girls that my friend Mark gave me as a gift. He was just like, you need cheered up. Have a gift. He's good like that. And then on my work desk upstairs that I do my Pokemon stuff, I have a bunch of fake flowers that I cut up into smaller pieces or like use the petals as like fabric sprinkles and stuff like that in my Pokeball dioramas. And one of the things that makes me happy there is I have a bucket, a red like aluminum bucket full of my fake flowers that has the Sriracha logo on it. I love Sriracha. I'm
not quite sure what that is, but Julie has a question that may go along with it. She says, I noticed that you cook. Will you be coming out with any Pokemon desserts or delectables in the near future?
Oh, I would like to, but like already, so cooking, like I tend to do a lot of things like from scratch or the hard way or like make my own sauces or whatever. But I never worry about making stuff look good because I'm like, I got to make this taste good. And there's already so much planning of getting the timing and everything to come out right. Like when I do like a pasta and like red sauce with meat in it or something, I make my own marinara. I don't use the stuff out of the jar. I'm going to at some point start crushing my own tomatoes for it instead of using canned crushed tomatoes even. So I feel like just making it look really cute or like a Pokemon or something is probably more than I have the patience for once we get into food.
Gee willikers, awesome stuff. Julie says, what is the unit that you store them in? Reminds me of a biodome in regards to your Pokemon, Pokeballs.
All right, so these are the snap together in the middle acrylic Christmas ornaments. So sometimes of year, places aren't making them because they're like, we don't have the demand right now. And then I have to pay more because I'm buying like the left up store of what people have. And these giant ones are like really hard to find. My smaller ones, some of the smaller ones are easier to find sometimes, but I end up snipping. You can still see it a little bit sometimes under the electrical tape. I'm just revealing all my flaws. Wearing it on my sleeve here is where the little hook was to put the hanger on. I break that off with wire.
Right. Oh, I think you froze there, superstar. Oh dear. Crayle, you seem to have frozen. You may want to jump out and jump back in.
Cutters.
There you are. Yep. Froze there for a minute. Oh boy. Well, this just got interesting, didn't it? Anyhow, so once again, we're talking with Crayle Vanest, one half of Phoenix Sisters Cosplay. She's going over how she makes her Pokeballs, which are very special kind of things. You can find it on Instagram. Links to where you can find all this stuff are in the description of this video. And Crayle, like I said, I think you're having technical difficulties because you're frozen, so you may want to jump out and jump back in. But while you're doing that, see some great comments from you all here. Let's see. Let me take this out. Let me see. Let's try this again. You there?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, there you are. Okay.
Cool.
Gee whiz. You cut out as you were describing how you put these things together, and you said that the middle part of the piece with the electrical tape broke off or something.
Oh, yeah, I cut it. They're underneath the electrical tape here. This is electrical tape, by the way. This stripe, all the outside, it's already the perfect width for most of my Pokeball sizes. And the Christmas ornaments have the fillable Christmas ornaments that I buy have a like a hook thing here, and I cut that off with wire cutters on purpose. And then instead of it hanging this way, it turns this way, and I paint half of it. So
there you go. There you go. By the way, in regards to your cosplay, Brian Wensloff chimes in. He says, "I want to see you pull a Firestar from the 1980s Spider-Man cartoon." Yeah.
That would be fun. Although if I do a Spider-Man related costume, though, it'd probably be Black Cat first. Her look is so great.
Oh, like, Black Cat from Spider-Man. Yes. Felicia Hardy. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Once played that character. I remember the 1990s Spider-Man cartoon. That's what I grew up on. Hello, Fox Kids. Remember that theme song? Anyway, Julie says that it is absolutely amazing that you're using every single one of your talents to help other people as well as help others enjoy stuff in life. I have a history in digital marketing also, and I love the idea of all the analytics.
Yeah. So I have, for my own business now, because of this marketing background, I have
froze up on us again. Gotta love it. Anywho.
Spreadsheets on.
Cut out again.
All right, am I back?
Yeah, you're back now. Geez, you keep skipping a couple of beats here and there. This show was going so well, and then all of a sudden your system wants to, crap out on you. No offense.
I don't understand what's wrong. Like, I have like full internet and everything. I don't know.
Internet's being weird. But anyway, please continue.
Oh, I have spreadsheets on spreadsheets on spreadsheets, like for my own business. Because I've got that analytics background where I'm like, what sold, what didn't sell, like what's the,
Julie says, I love how you describe your relationship between you and your hubby when it comes to Venn diagrams. It's absolutely awesome.
I really like I like graphic tools. I'm into analytics. So like that occurs to me for all kinds of things. I'll be like, so if you were to put this on a graph or a graphic image, and people are like, some of them are like, oh, I know exactly what you mean now. And other people are like, why are we talking about graphs now?
Yeah, it's a good question. Julie says, if I'm going to put cosplay together, it's like Party City for me. Now it's back to the dollar store, probably. Maybe even Amazon to find costumes for myself. You never know, Julie. There are plenty of websites out there. Yep, plenty of websites out there. Goodness gracious. And by the way, Julie says, I can't watch any more television shows. I have too many already that are stored on my DVR that I have yet to get to.
We feel your pain.
Jeez. Let's see. Brian chimes in. He says, Firestar is actually going to be in the next trilogy. What do you mean by next trilogy? What does that mean? Like trilogy of Spider-Man films? And Bobby Drake, a.k.a. Iceman, who's rumored to be played by Tanner Buchanan, a.k.a. Robbie Keane. I'm not familiar with these people,
Bobby.
Brian. I'm not familiar with this, Brian, and I didn't know that Firestar was apparently going to be in the next trilogy of what exactly? Spider-Man films or Spider-Man TV shows? You got to be more specific, because not all of us follow the Hollywood tabloids like you do, Brian. You read up on everything. Do you think I could keep up with that stuff? Heck no. No. Because there's too much content, and there's too many projects that are being put together by too many people that I don't know yet. Sorry. Gee whiz. Oh, Brian confirms. He says Firestar is going to be featured in the next trilogy of Spider-Man films. Oh, my gosh. Well, if that's the case, it's going to be like it's 1985. Which, by the way, 1985 sounds a heck of a lot better than 2020s right now, because the 2020s are just... Oh, boy, it is not easy to live for. And by the way, Brian says that Tom Holland's character is going to be featured to be in college in the next set of films. Okay.
Okay.
Well, hey, if that's the way... They're moving forward with Spider-Man, because apparently Spider-Man made all the monies in the last few weeks with the new film No Way Home, which I haven't seen yet. Have you?
I have not yet.
Yeah, I haven't seen it either. But I've heard some things that are spoiled for me on the interwebs, but I don't get bothered by that. Well, for this movie, I don't, because I didn't really have any interest in No Way Home, and then someone told me a spoiler in a private conversation one time, and I thought to myself, you know what? That's a gutsy move that they did in that movie. I may need to go back and watch some of this footage.
I wasn't as excited about it either. I think I've still got a little bit of MCU exhaustion.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's too much.
I still think they're putting out quality movies. There's so many things I want to watch. I'm not prioritizing the MCU as the thing I'm going to go see when it comes out right now.
Yeah, for me, respectively, my priority right now is catching every episode of the Book of Boba Fett.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. That's on our watch it every week. We don't normally do that. We normally just binge things in my household. And so for us to not wait for the whole thing to come out at once and binge it, we have to be pretty excited about a show.
That is true. Goodness gracious, man. Brian, you are just so full of information today. My goodness gracious. Well, we want to take this opportunity to thank Crayle Vanest, one half of the Phoenix Sisters Cosplay, for being our guest on this week's episode of And I Quote. Crayle, where can the person who is watching this find you online and everything you have coming up? What do you got?
So anything Phoenix Sisters related, we have a link tree. I should have sent that to you beforehand. Maybe I'll send it to you afterwards and you can drop it in somewhere. But we are it's Phoenix Sisters Cosplay on Patreon, Facebook, TikTok, and Instagram. And then if you're interested in my Pokeballs or any of my Pokey Mugs that are new and stuff like that, on Facebook, it's Pokeballs by Crayle. On Instagram, it's also Pokeballs by Crayle. I also check my message requests from strangers pretty frequently. So if you have something actually cosplay or Pokemon related, not being creepy, I am not inviting that. But if you have something Pokemon or cosplay related that you want to ask me, I'm Crayle Vanest. That's my last name. And I do check my little message requests things. I don't promise I'll answer just every conversation, but I do keep an eye on that inbox.
Oh my goodness gracious. No kidding. Well, that is wonderful. All those links to where you can find that stuff are located within the description of this video. So make sure you check that out. But also, we want to let you in on something. Crayle and I are doing something, are teaming up with a group of great individuals that is coming up next weekend, as a matter of fact, something called the Multiverse Fundraiser. Not fun, but fun. We're going to have some fun here on the set. And we're going to have fun during the course of this event. Now, Crayle, here's the graphic. Here are a bunch of guests that are going to be there. We have people from Noah freaking Wiley from The Librarians, Falling Skies, ER, which, by the way, ER is one of the greatest medical dramas of all time. You got Sarah Douglas, who played Ursa from Christopher Reeve's Superman films. You also have Camille Mitchell from the Smallville TV series, a.k.a. the greatest comic book TV series of all time. All time. You got a whole bunch of other people. So, Crayle, tell us a little bit about the Multiverse Fundraiser and what we can expect.
So this upcoming weekend, not this weekend going on right now, but next weekend, this upcoming weekend, we are having a free virtual convention, free to attend. You can find us through the Back of the Cereal Box YouTube or through the Multiverse Fundraiser and Back of the Cereal Box Facebook pages. We do a different cause every year, and this year we are raising fun and funds for Valerie Perrine, who's been battling Parkinson's. You might recognize her from, like a Superman film. There was also a documentary about her put together by Stacey Souther, her friend and neighbor, who's got his own film credentials. And so he's handling the actual fundraiser part of it. We're not managing the money ourselves. It's going directly into her funds through her GoFundMe. And so we're going to have art. We're going to have writers, like Kelly's going to do like a geeky painting seminar. Ryan and I are going to be talking about getting started in comics. You are not behind. You're doing just fine. And we're going to help you find a place to start.
And there it is.
There it is. Ryan, do you want to talk about the other panels you're going to do? We have so much great content.
We do. So along with Crayle, myself, and a whole bunch of others, we're teaming up to do this. This is one of the panels I will be on alongside Crayle. It's called You're Not Behind, Advice for New Comic Fans. So if you just started reading comics and you're not quite sure where to start, Crayle, myself, and whoever else is going to be joining us in the Fun House, aka the Multiverse Fundraiser. What's up, y'all? We're going to give you some titles, and give you some tips and tricks of what you can do to get started with comics, because life is truly better when reading. Or if you're reading comics. I think it's whether you're reading a book or a comic or comic book. Hello, they go together. What's up? That's a great thing to do. Another panel I'm going to be on during the course of that weekend, I should say, going back a little bit here, B-List Boosters is going to go down on Saturday night at 6 p.m. EST. That's on, remember, this convention is January the 21st to the 23rd, so it's next weekend. Do not miss it. We're going to be doing a show called B-List Boosters, where I'm going to be hosting a group of people who are going to give us some characters that may not be as popular as the Supermans or the Batmans or the Wonder Womans or the Flashes of the world, but they deserve appreciation just as much as the Big Kahuna, those types of heroes do. So I think that's going to be some awesome sauce, Crayle, if I do say so myself. Another one we got coming up, goodness gracious, this is a huge honor, and I'm excited to be a part of it. Camille Mitchell, I'm going to have the honor, nay, the privilege of sitting down with the Sheriff of Smallville, Camille Mitchell. She and I are going to have a Q&A. We're going to talk to each other, going to find out more about her acting career, the incredible things that she has done over the course of her life. We cannot wait to discuss it. So that is going to be on Sunday at 3 p.m. EST on January the 23rd, I want to say, excuse me. And right after that panel, Crayle, it gets better. You know why? Somebody save me. We're going to be celebrating the greatest comic book TV series of all time, known as Smallville. Tyler Patrick and myself are going to be talking like crazy about Smallville, how it was the start, an introduction for many of you, and maybe even you, to be a DC fan by introducing different DC characters within its own series. Yes, the series is primarily set about Clark Kent and his friends and his family, but they did introduce you to different corners, different pockets of the DC universe, and we are going to celebrate that like there is no tomorrow. So to give you an idea, here's the schedule of what we have for you during the course of the weekend. Feel free to take a screenshot of this, tell your friends, tell your neighbors, tell the cats, tell the dogs, tell the Pokemons, tell the Pokeballs, tell the Pokey Mugs, tell all the people walking down the street, tell the people on the Yellow Brick Road. You know what's up, son. You know you want to attend this convention. You know why? Because it's going to be presented by a great group of people, and you can attend it free from the comfort of your own home, Crayle. From the comfort of your own home. Does it get any better than that? I don't think so. So that's what's going down. I mean, look at the lineup. You got Noah Wiley, Sarah Douglas's, Camille Mitchell's, the whole shebang. I mean, goodness gracious. In the words of, what was it? Lex Luthor and his secondary in command. I can't remember his name. What more can anyone ask?
Yeah,
Gosh.
no, I'm like amazed. Kristen on our board
Yes.
is so great at reaching out to celebrities and really pulling in that star power. Like I look at this like really star-studded lineup and I'm like, really? I'm helping organize this? Like these are names people recognize. So I'm really excited. And I mean, our non-celebrity guests who do like our writing panels and our like artist panels and cosplay stuff are still incredibly talented people. Like it's a privilege to work on this project, and it feels really great that it's for a different charity every year. Yeah.
Yeah, that's all you have to say is yeah. Come on now. Where's your Comic-Con spirit? Anyhow,
I'm worried about gushing for too long. Sometimes I have to cut myself off. I'm like, if I don't stop now, I won't.
It's okay. It's an upcoming event that all of us here at Neuroculture and everyone at Back of the Cereal Box and everyone around the world is excited to be a part of. Next weekend, January 21st and the 23rd, you are not going to want to miss it. Once again, my name is Ryan of Neuroculture. You can find us online and everything we got going on all forms of social media, simply at It's Neuroculture. New videos are going to be posted on our YouTube channel each and every week. I do a show called Boba's Weekly Bounty. Yeah, that's right. I said it. Where we dive into the latest episode of the Book of Boba Fett. It's on Thursday nights at 8 p.m. EST. We have special guests that are going to be joining us each and every week. You're not going to want to miss it. Trust me on that one, son. Also, and I quote, you can catch it here on Saturdays, weekly, 8 or 12 p.m. EST. I almost said something wrong there. Goodness gracious, good thing I caught myself. So there's a lot going on, Crayle. So I quote, Saturdays, 12 p.m. EST. Do not miss it. You're going to like the way you look after watching our videos. I guarantee it. So with that being said, we want to take this opportunity to thank you for being a part of this. Thank you for being here, Crayle. You are awesome sauce. We're not going to forget you. We never could. Seriously, we never could. Phoenix Sisters Cosplay, that is a dynamic duo that's going to be blowing up the internet in the coming weeks and months, and you got to be following them. Otherwise, you're just missing out on the greatest thing in your life.
Oh my goodness.
We
are pretty awesome, though.
I know. We do what we can here to support one another, but goodness gracious. All right, to you who are watching this, don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe, do all that stuff. And in the meantime, stay healthy, stay strong, stay safe, and remember, life is better when reading comics. Take a look.
Join us online for our second annual Multiverse Fundraiser on January 21st to 23rd. Hosted by Back of the Cereal Box Network, our free virtual jamboree is the place to meet fascinating celebrities, talk to all kinds of creative people, and perhaps even learn a new skill or two. We are raising money for Oscar-nominated actress Valerie Perrine, known for her roles in Superman and Slaughterhouse-5. The proceeds of the fundraiser will go towards helping Miss Perrine fight Parkinson's disease. Like us at the Multiverse Fundraiser on Facebook and subscribe to us on YouTube. At the Multiverse Fundraiser, we're not just raising money for a good cause, we're raising fun.